All right. So welcome to the next part, Sīvakasutta. So if you ever wondered about these philosophical questions, where does pain come from? So here are various theories that the Buddha is talking about. So we can look at the sentence. Ajahn Titapanyo, could you read that first sentence, the first line?
Santi Bo Gotama Eke Samana Brahmana Ewang Wadino Ewang Ditino.
Okay. Can you identify the verb in that sentence?
Santi. There are.
Very good. So that should not be confused with the Santi as in peace. Yeah. Which it looks like the same, but it's actually this is a verb form. Very good. There are.
Yeah. What are the things there are?
Okay, so who is?
Samana Brahmana. Samanas and Brahmins.
Okay, so that's the first arrow goes there. There are Samanas and Brahmins, and they are qualified by looks like two words.
Yeah, Ewang Wadino, Ewang Ditino, thus say, thus see.
So this is in plural form, yeah, plural form because there are many of them. So it's often found in the suttas, like when they ask what does the Buddha teach, then the word for that is evang vadi. He is teaching thus, evang vadi, evang ditti. But because it's plural, then it's evang vadino, evang dittino. Yeah, thus speaking and thus holding view.
Of thus view, they are of this belief. They are of this view.
Such and such a view. Okay, and then we have that inserted clause there in the middle. Bhogotama.
That's it.
So
like the
Venerable Gautama, yeah? Something like that, or revered Gautama, or something like that. The bho is often used in that way.
Like the good Gautama.
Yeah.
Like this is a less respectful address rather than the Bhante.
Yeah, it's kind of very typical standard bho Gautama. Okay. And now what follows? We have the double colon there, but it's of course in Pali there isn't anything like that. You have to figure out. Okay, this is the beginning of the next sentence. So this is like direct speech. You know, normally we would put inverted commas here. So Venerable Atanyu, can you read the second line?
Yang Kimcha Yang Pulisa Pugalo Patisang Wedeti Sukangwa Dukangwa.
Okay.
This is Sabantang Pube Kata Hetu Ti.
Okay. So how can we break this down? Can you see the verb? Is there in the middle? Patisang Vedeti. It's from Vedeti is to feel, to experience. Pati sang is got two prefixes actually before that, pati and sang. So it's sort of like thoroughly feel, experience, right?
Pati means literally like at the feet of something like this.
Back, it means like back or like the in English, but re-feeling or re-experiencing, but it's not always literally like that, you know. So sometimes these prefixes, they cannot be like translated literally, but it's some kind of like a thorough experience.
Really with, really with.
In fact, this is the same word in the Anapanasati Sutta when we Patisaka Sabakaya Patisangvedi, which some people have been translated like thoroughly experiencing the body, you know. So that's it, experiencing, and then it's what? It's in third person singular, right? So who is experiencing? Can you see the subject there?
A person, I guess.
Purisa Pugalo.
Yes, Purisa Pugalo.
Purisa Pugalo. So it's actually two words, Purisa and Pugalo, but it's a very common way to say like an individual person, you know, like this man or this person. Pugalo can be translated as a kind of individual. Purisa is literally man, not male, but common term for a person. So the person experiences, and then he, what are the first two words?
Sukangwa Dukangwa.
The beginning, okay.
Yeah,
Let's start from the beginning.
So Yang Kincha Yang. So
Okay.
whatever. So yeah.
So the way to break it down is yang is what, what, and then yang kinchi, whatever. But we have ayang. Ayang is this, you know. So that refers to the Purisa Pugalo. So this person, and then it becomes connected with the previous word. So yang kinchi ayang becomes yang kinchayang, right?
Yang kinchi ayang.
Yang kinchi ayang, ayang Purisa Pugalo, this person. So this is what happens, that there are these kind of sandhi, you know, these kind of, it gets connected. So whatever this person experiences, patisangvedeti, and then, okay, and what follows, sukhangva, dukhangva?
So joy and suffering.
Yeah, happiness or suffering. So there are the va. It has always this form, something va. But in English we say sukha or dukkha. Okay. So the experiences, either pleasant or unpleasant, and then the sentence continues. Sabang.
Sabang tang, so sabang completely.
Well, in this case, we will have to translate all of that. The tongue refers to the young in the beginning, you see. So it's a kind of sentence starts with young, something, and then tongue, something. So all that, sabang tongue, all that, right? Pubbekata hetu. Can you break down pubbekata hetu?
So past, done and cause as so past due to past actions.
That's right. So hetu, it becomes hetu. The long u at the end is only because the t, there's an ending in t, which is the end of the direct speech. So it becomes hetu, but normally it would be just hetu, cause, or is it due to pubbekata, what was done, kata past participle, that which is done from karoti.
So previously done, rooted, something like that. No,
rooted in what is
rooted in what's previously done.
Yeah.
That's in English.
I speak English.
So okay, very good.
Previously done, rooted. Okay.
So it's like he whoever is saying, he has quoted somebody who has this view. So that's always in Pali, when you try to represent somebody's view, you have to quote it like a sentence which ends with T, right? And now it continues. Here. Idha.
Yeah. Ida Bhawan Gotamo Kim Ahati. So here the Venerable Gotamo, what say about it?
Right. So idha is it means literally here. but sometimes, like I think Ajahn Thanissaro always translates it in this case, or it just means here in this instance, in this case. Bhavam Gotamo, again, this bha or Bhavam Gotamo, it's just an appellation. It's just
The
address, yeah. Honorific. Gotama Kimahati. What does the Venerable Gotama say? So aha is the Kim aha. What is he saying? He is what saying?
Or what is his view? What is his pronouncement?
Exactly. What do you say on this? So
Is this what's the infinitive of aha? It's not it's not this. Is it the same verb as vadino?
no. So this I'll have to look this up exactly. Aha, but it means Tathagato aha. Aha means he said. He said. I can't think now of the verb, but sometimes actually there isn't an actual verb. It's some kind of a root that is actually not being used as a normal,
Okay.
but it's used in the past sense. I'll have to look it up later. Okay, so what does the Buddha say to this? Okay.
So here, this is this is not only an ancient view. Like that there are spiritual teachers these days where they would say that everything that happens to you is because of your past karma.
Yes.
If you had a car accident, it's because of your karma. If you have a stomachache, it's because of your past karma. If you passed your exam, that's because of your past.
Yeah, if you're in an earthquake, then you must have done something terrible in the past. That's why the stone fell on your head now. Yeah.
Like
so
that's relevant, no?
Yeah.
Just the recent earthquakes in
Exactly.
Burma and Thailand. Is that there will be people there
Yeah.
who will say that those people who died in that earthquake, they have the same kamma, or that they are.
Definitely.
So it's a form of determinism.
Hmm?
It's a sort of a kamic determinism.
That's right. It's what.
Yes, it's a what we call determinism, and even modern scientific views, like some kind of science deterministic views also. So there are various versions of this. So okay, so now the Buddha gives his response in a number of so I think he follows, apparently, if you read it by this, it's sort of like following the old Ayurvedic theories of how illnesses arise in the body, So the first sentence, maybe Ajahn Gambhira.
So from Pitta.
Pitta.
Pitta samuttanapi ko Sīvaka idekacchani vedayitani upajjanti.
Okay.
So the verb here is upajjanti, they arise. Pitta samuttanapi.
Samuttanani.
Samuttanani. That's right. So the pit is that they are also the what is this? The pitta is the
Bile.
bile. There are feelings that are arising from bile condition.
Exactly.
Right.
So notice the Vedayitani is a plural, yeah? So Vedayitang would be that which is felt, so one feeling, and Vedayitani is the plural of that. So there are like experiences of feelings, we can say, but
So there are the feelings are arising. They are vedayitani upajjanti.
exactly.
Yeah.
The feelings are arising, and then
Because of the bile.
yeah, and samuttana is like the samuttana. Uttana means to come up, literally come up. So they are coming up from bile as a cause. And Sīvaka is the name of the person that the Buddha is talking
So
to.
he's addressing him.
Addressing Sīvaka.
So it's Sīvaka who opens the sutta.
Yeah.
He's asking the question. That's right.
He's the sensitive or automatic.
Exactly. So now I can do the next one. Samangpi ko etang Sīvaka veditabang lokasapi ko etang Sīvaka satcha samatang yatha pitta  vedayitani uppajjanti. So it's again two sentenences actually combined, so there's this illusion there. But so the Buddha is saying from two sides. He says, by oneself, one can know this, and the world, like in the opinion of the general opinion of the world, it is also considered to be true. So samang means by oneself, self, samampi. Yeah, samang means oneself, by oneself. Ko, etang, ko is again just emphatic. This, etang, this is known, veditaba. So veditaba, to be known, to be known, like we chant in the Sutta, you know, the Four Noble Truths should be known, should be abandoned, and so on. So this is this verb form. It's the, what is it, optative, right? So that which should be done. So it should be done, or it could be done.
Future past participle.
Yeah, it could be done.
It may be known.
Yeah, may be known, exactly.
May be known by oneself.
Can be known, may be known by oneself.
This may be known, this could be known, this.
So it could be, should be, may be known by oneself, Sīvaka, and then the second sentence continues, Lokasapi ko etang Sīvaka satcha samatang. Now, satcha samatang is sammata is to be agreed upon, to be recognized. It's sometimes spelled with a a, sammati, and sometimes with a u, sammuti. And you might, if you've ever established a sima, for example, or something like this, any kind of sangha kamma, then that's called sima sammuti, agreeing upon a sima. So in this case, it says sammati, it's agreed upon as a truth, you know. So the world, lokasa, so lokasa in this case must be for the world or of the world.
This is genitive.
Genitive, yeah.
Lokasa of the world. This is
considered as a truth. As a truth.
So where's the verb in the lokasapi? Is it?
Well, actually,
there doesn't have to be a verb in Pāli sentence because it's of the world. This is considered as truth, but this is a kind of lokasamatang. Yeah, it's like of the world or for the world. This is considered. You see, this is a kind of past participle form, sammata. It is like this.
Is considered.
Considered, but it's not a verb form basically in Pāli.
But dictionary says that such a sammata takes a dative. So lokasa in this case, then
I think it's more likely to be dative.
This is dative, not a genitive.
Right. It's the same dative, genitive in Pāli.
But to the world, this is known. I can say that way. To the world, this is known as true.
And then it continues. So what is known as true? Yatha pitta samutanini pi idhekachani vedahitani upajanti. Yatha meaning as or how the feelings arise. Idhekachani. So it's idha ekachani. Idha means here in this case. And ekachani means some. No, ekacha means some, like some, not all, but some. So ekachani vedayitani means plural. Some feelings, in this case, idha, arise, and then again with bile as the source. Right. So that's the structure of this sentence.
That his answer to the question, is everything arising from your, past kamma?
Exactly.
Like this is just the first example he's going to give. Like he gives a list of these medical conditions that your feelings might arise from your bad bile or your bad stomach or your other medical conditions, and so he's saying that it is not true.
Yeah.
Right?
There's no need to rely on past karma. You can just look at your stomach or bile or something. Okay.
But he also gives you a method of proof.
Yeah.
right? You can know this for yourself.
Um,
Like this is something you can observe on yourself, and this is something that generally other people also agree with.
Yeah.
And so you can your personal experience conforms with what other people would also regard as true.
Which is interesting that, you know, you would think, oh, because it's such a maybe a deep spiritual teaching, it must be something that like goes against the general opinion of the world. But this is a good case to show. And this is not the only sutta. There are other instances of this where the Buddha says, well, this is both something you can know directly and other people actually also confirm it. In some cases, he says the wise people in the world can confirm it, you know. So it's not that like the Buddha is going like against completely like
So
everybody.
this is not like, how to say, this confirmation doesn't have to come from special enlightened people.
Yeah,
Because everyday regular people can also know this to be true.
Why do I feel so full? You ate a lot.
Yeah, so like I think this is kind of like there are some spiritual people who think like whatever is like the deepest truth must be completely like out of this world and like nobody would ever have thought of this, you know. But the Buddha is not saying actually not saying that. So maybe Titapanya, can you go with the other one? Tatra.
Tatra Sīvaka Yete Samana Brahmana Ewang Wadino Ewang Ditino.
Okay. I did not put that word in because I think we had it in our vocabulary. Tatra means it there, like in that case.
From that.
Yeah. So he says there, it's in Osivaka, like vocative, and Yete, something like those Samana Brahmins, thus saying, thus seeing. Not sure how to translate Yete.
Yeah, so yete means those who, I mean, te,
Oh, those.
it's a similar actually, like yoso. You know, yoso would be singular form, and because it's plural, it's yete. It just means those. Yeah.
Those, okay. Yeah.
It's a kind of a formulation, very common. Okay, so those samanas and brahmins who have this teaching and this view, and then can you carry on with the next sentence?
Yeah. Yancha samang natang tancha adi dawanti yancha loke sacha samatang tancha adi dawanti. And then
okay. Let us look into this. Yancha samang nyatang tancha atidhavanti. So those samanas and brahmins, yancha samang nyatang tancha atidhavanti. So can you see? So the verb obviously is the last one, right?
Yeah.
Atidhavanti. So atidhavanti, if you look at your vocabulary list, it says they overstep. Literally, they run beyond. They overrun. They overshoot. We would say in English, overshooting the goal. You know, they go beyond something. And then what is it they go beyond? Yancha samang nyatang. That which is known, nyatang, by oneself, right? So it's yang plus cha becomes yancha. Yang is what? Is yang, and nyatang is the known. What is known is from janati. Janati becomes nyatang. Here it is, nyata. And because it's nyatang, then it has to be samang nyatang, known by oneself. And then because here we have the yang at the beginning, then the sentence continues with tang, yang tang. So what is known by oneself, that they overrun.
Okay.
You see?
Okay. So the previous view that they expressed goes beyond what they actually know themselves.
That's it. That's it. Okay. Yancha loke.
Yancha loke satcha Such as sammattam tancha.
Wait,
There's something missing. Let me
yeah,
read from here. I can read
it's
from the paper.
here. How do I Tancha? Wait. Tidak havanti.
So this is it's talking about the individual now, we'll say about the world. So yancha loke sacha sammattam tancha attidavanti. So it's sort of a repetition of the previous sentence, but now a reference to the world.
Exactly.
So that which the world was the sacha is the
Truth considered.
Yeah. So okay. So that which the world considers true, that view which was previously expressed goes beyond that.
They overrun it. They overshoot it.
Yeah, anti.
But here we have to know loke sacha samatam. This is a locative form
in the world.
In the world, but it's a kind of way to express that which in the world by the world is considered as true, sacha samatam. That they overrun. Okay.
So Pāli, you really have to keep track of what the yangs and the tangs are referring to.
Yeah. But that also you have to always like look ahead a little bit in the sentence. Okay, what if this starts with yang? Where is the corresponding tang? And then you can break down the sentence into like meaningful bits that it gives it a kind of logical construction. And then tasmate sang samana brahmananam michchati vadami. So tasma is therefore tesang samana brahmananam. So of those, te, we had te, and now we are talking about them. Tesang samana brahmananam. So this is it says genitive plural of those ascetics and Brahmins, or concerning them basically, or for them, or in their case we would say. I think in English we say for them. This is wrong. Michchati vadami. So michchati vadami. So it's again expressed as a direct speech. We could put inverted commas around this michchati literally. In English we would do it like that. But I say vadami, wrong.
They are michcha.
They are michcha.
And this is what I say.
This is what I say.
It says.
I say wrong. Exactly. Okay, that gives us the structure, and now
therefore I say that.
Yeah, michchati vadami.
So just to repeat that his point is that those who say something that goes against what you can personally know and what even everyday people can agree on, and they say they make a statement that goes beyond that, right? They speak something that implies something beyond that. They overstep just the general knowledge. Then he says, this is a way to confirm that that's wrong. That you don't have to follow that statement.
You're just plainly wrong, which is interesting, like for a kind of religious teacher or spiritual. There's a lot of these spiritual people who do exactly the opposite. They both disagree with what is generally considered true in the world.
But the escape clause they would use is that they are wise, or they have some special knowledge, no?
Special knowledge, yeah. So I guess this just goes, I think this is a kind of a truth that the Buddha is not even like, he says this is nothing like so deep, that it's just kind of a general knowledge that, like results of kamma. There's actually two interpretations of this passage. Some people say there's one interpretation, I think it's in the commentaries, or some Western interpreter tried to say, the Buddha doesn't actually say, I think in Bhikkhu Bodhi even says, these different reasons for the feelings, they are true. And at the end, when the Buddha says kamma vipaka, it kind of encompasses all of that. So the kamma vipaka is somehow, all these things are still kamma vipaka. But anyway, we'll come to that. So, and what follows now are the other reasons for feelings. I mean, feelings here meaning usually painful feelings, right? Vedana or Vedaitam in Pali, very often, if it doesn't have any other qualifying verb, it refers to painful feeling, right? So like illnesses, you could almost say, or pains. So the other pains arise from, here we have semha, phlegm, vata, wind, sannipatika. Okay, it says here, coming from a conjunction or combination. I saw this translated differently as sannipata means, yeah, to come together, sannipata, but can mean like a combination of the bodily humors. You know, like things like being unevenly mixed in the body, you know, like the elements and the bodily humors. I think it's the same as the Greek. The Greeks had the same theory of the bodily humors and how illnesses arise from mixing and well,
Being mixed, no?
yeah, being mixed, exactly.
Things getting mixed up in the wrong way.
Mixed up in the wrong way, yeah. And then uttu parinamaja. Uttu parinamaja. So uttu is, as you know, the season, like we say, you know, in the Patimokkha beginning. Ayang hemantotu, ayang vasanotu. Tu is uttu, season. But it just means like weather, you know, it can mean weather, you know, that comes cold weather, you get a cold.
If it's wind and you're freezing, that's not because of your past karma.
Yeah, you just get a cold from because it's cold.
And if it's summer and you're relaxing, then that's also not your past karma. That's weather caused.
Weather caused. So uttu parinama. Parinama is more commonly in Pāli suttas is viparinama, which means like a change for the worse always. It's like it refers to like people getting sick and so on. So, but it literally means transformation or change, parinama. And ja means born from, you know, jata or jati. But if the word ends in ja means it is born from seasonal change. Okay. And then we have visama parihara ja. So that is uneven. Visama is uneven, improper. Sama means even, you know, sama, samati, and so it's to be on a equal level, the same in English, same. Parihara means pariharate is to do something with the body, to move it or to do some kind of exercise. So parihara is like improper care or not looking after the body properly. And again, ja is the born from. So parihara jani. Jani means, because it's a plural, we're talking about vedayitani, yeah, and then they are visama parihara jani, and then pi is also.
Be back in a moment.
Also, and the next one is opakamikani, pi. So now opakamika or upakama, it seems to mean something like accidents or attacks from outside, you know, accidents, attacks. So I think this might be a good one for the earthquake. You know, if you get crushed by a falling ceiling, there might be one. Or
there's another meaning when somebody is exerting oneself. Like there's a lot you're overworking or your like the ascetic practices.
Oh yes,
that the Nigantas are practicing.
That's
practicing. Right. The Buddha puts it in
that category.
In this category.
Okay, that's a good one. So you might be causing pain to yourself by actually straining and overdoing some physical exercise. Yeah. So exactly, that's good. And the last one we come to kamma vipaka jani. So they are born jani from kamma vipaka, from the result of action. Action, result, born. So idhekatani vedayitani upajanti. So in this here, some vedayitani, some feelings arise. So okay, very good. So kamma vipaka, again, just to clarify a common linguistic point. So if you listen to monks in our tradition, they often talk about vipaka kamma. Vipaka kamma, it's become almost a kind of a something like past karma in English, past karma. So, but they are talking about actually the results of karma. So in Pāli, the way you express that is kamma vipaka means the result. Something is the result of kamma. So the adjective, the first word becomes the adjective, the result of kamma. But in Thai, it's exactly the opposite. In Thai, if you want to say the result of kamma, you have to say vibak kam. The word that comes in the second place is like has the function of the adjective. So vibak kam means the result of kamma. So I think from that, Lumpur Sumedho and other monks have sort of made it into an English, taken it over. So they talk about vipaka kamma, but it's a kind of a nonsense. If you look at it in this way, it's inaccurate. They should instead be talking about kamma vipaka. Kamma vipaka is the Pali word, but they've taken it, I assume, directly from the Thai. So that's why it's confusing.
Another connected view to this is, what are the things that can experience these results? Like in the case of natural disasters, then there are people saying that this country has done a lot of bad things, and therefore this country is receiving the results of its past karma.
Yes.
Like everybody, like they lump together an entire nation and identify it as something that can experience the results of past generations.
Yeah, like an entity.
And in that case, the problem is that so to put that on a foundational level, what are the things that can experience karma? Can you please go back to your share screen?
Yes. Just seeing if everybody's still there. Yes. So here it is. So what is it? I think it's just individual. Yeah. In Buddhism, there doesn't seem to be any other way to experience something other than from your own actions.
So the other day we were reading about, the formula of kammankettam, vijnanam, bijam, tanha, sneho. Like, that in that formula, who is it? Like I typed out here. That was a really good example. What can you talk about in terms of kamma? Right? Is that you have.
Oh, that's right here. Kammankettam.
Kamman.
That's your own individual action.
Vijnanam.
Bijam.
Bijam. And then tanha, sneho. And kamma is the field, vijnana is the seed, and craving is the moisture.
That's right.
And so something that is affected by kamma has to be able to be affected by consciousness, and has to be able to have craving.
Right.
And so these ideas that a nation has karma. A nation doesn't have consciousness. It's a concept that we come up with.
Exactly.
It's like saying that our country has committed something. Your country didn't commit anything. People in that country who have committed something.
But it can be said that because many people at the same time had similar intentions and performed similar actions, therefore they might then later find themselves in a similar situation.
Yes, but the important distinction there is that those individual people have committed individual karma that is of a similar kind. And so it leads them down to the same path. But there's no overarching, mastermind that is controlling it or has some kind of God karma or nation karma or it's just a bunch of individuals doing the same foolish thing and receiving the same bad result.
It's a kind of oversimplified, simple version how people explain things. Oh yeah, our nation is really suffering now because such and such, and So anyway, this is the Buddha's theory of ethics. It's just individual actions. Of course, you can be influenced, and there is actually a sutta where the Buddha says that one acts, one creates a sankhara, like a kamma in the mind, either of one's own account or influenced by others. As if like it can be purely your own, from your own reasoning and whatever that you do something, or you can be actually somehow influenced by listening to other people or following the example of others. So that is acknowledged, as a motivation for your actions. But in the end, it's always your own action. Yeah.
Ajahn Thanissaro to this sutta, in the introduction, he mentions an interesting other one. I'll paste the excerpt here.
Oh yes.
This is Ajahn Thanissaro links to this.
Yeah, I was going to
Can you
mention
bring
this.
up the screen, please?
A bit higher.
Just a bit higher so you can see the text.
Okay.
So Ajahn Thanissaro links to this Kamma Nirodha Sutta in the Samyutta Nikaya, and where the Buddha talks about what is old action, what is new action,
Yeah.
and then what is the cessation of kamma and what leads to the cessation of kamma. So just the definition is very interesting there, because Katamancha Bhikkhave Purana Kammang, what is old action, and then he goes to the senses.
Right.
Like
All the sense bases.
Chakkusota, like all the things that are experienced through the eye, all the things that are experienced through the senses. This is the result of old karma. These are karmic formations that.
That's right.
Right.
Because you were born, you have an eye.
Exactly.
Why are you born? Because you.
Exactly. So that was, I think, one reason why Bhikkhu Bodhi said, in a wider sense, all these 8 reasons for painful feelings could be considered as kamma vipaka, in the sense that you wouldn't have a body and you wouldn't have this, if you didn't perform some kamma in the past and then were born with the sense organs so that you can experience all these things. But it's a kind of it's not a direct, result of past karma.
Yes, but that's moving the root to your individual, to your khandhas, right? And what people love to do is to move the root to outside.
Yeah.
Like, somebody crashed in my car, and that's because I have done something else, or they imagine this like a cloud of kamma that is hovering over me, or like there's magical kamma fields that are operating, and where the Buddha talks about, the old one is your senses, the new one is what is your currently performing through the senses, and then the.
Just sorry that I come late.
Oh, very nice forest out there. Okay.
I said, I remember I have something to do. Oh, the Bali leading.
Okay, we are coming just for the second half. Perfect.
Okay.
We are just starting on the second sutta.
So the last thing I think is worth mentioning regarding kamma is that, so in that sutta, the next section on there is cessation of kamma, is that whatever freedom you experience through the cessation of action, and that the path leading to the cessation is the eightfold path. And I think that filters out a lot of wrong explanations to kamma, because whatever you imagine kamma to be, it has to be something that comes to an end through the practice of the eightfold path. Like, if your explanation doesn't fit that, then that's not what the Buddha is talking about. You could be talking about other kinds of causality and things, reasons why things happen. But specifically, when the Buddha talks about kamma, it has to be something that is, through the senses, committed through actions, and comes to an end through the practice of the path.
Which is also called kamma leading to the cessation of kamma.
That's right. And
so that's actually a term. Yeah.
Okay,
very good.
Ready for the next one.
That's a good one. So the second. So there is a series of suttas in the Anguttara Nikaya about the future dangers. You might have read it in translation. The future dangers sutta. There's like three of them or so. So, okay, see. Ajahn Kongret, since you just arrived, can you see
Yes.
Could you read the first line?
Ita bhikkhave bhikkhu iti pati san tikati.
Can you see the verb in that sentence?
I would say pati santikati.
Ah, very good. And it actually means to see. Ikati literally is from see, to see, like with your eyes, I think. But it's pati sang chikati, so it's we change color. Yeah, it's right. Pati sang chikati. Usually we say reflects, reflecting, like considering in your mind, thinking about it. Okay. And who reflects? Who is the subject?
Bhikkhu.
Ah, that's right. So the bhikkhu, and he reflects iti patisanchikati means thus. Iti means thus,
Ajahn, is Patisang Chikati, is it same as Patisanka Yoniso?
I think, let me see, patisanchikati. I think so. I would have to look it up, but I think so. It is from the same root. Yeah, I think it's reflecting. Yeah, patisanka. So the bhikkhu reflects thus, iti patisanchikati. And then idha in the beginning means here, again, in this case, because the monk reflects like this. Okay, Venerable Tejo, try the next one.
Ahanko etarahi daharo yuva susukala keso badrena yobbanena samanagato patamena vayasa.
That's it. So this is again, like a direct speech, so this is his thought, So, ahanko etrahi, ahang, I. I, ko is nothing special.
So I
Etarahi. Etarahi.
at this moment. So right now.
At present. So etarahi can mean, literally at this time, now. Okay, and now how am I?
So I'm reading from the vocabulary student, but so I'm young, I'm youthful. So Kala is black, and Su is good, and Kesa is hair. So I'm young, youthful. I have beautiful black hair.
That's it.
Badrena. Okay, yeah, I have no I don't know. I'm still in good form.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very. So your banana, this it's a word for this yuva actually. Yuva, I think it's considered, it's related somehow etymologically with youth, young. Is it Juventus in Latin or something like young, basically young. Bhadra is Bhadda, and Bhadra sometimes it is dr, sometimes double d. Bhadda means something like excellent, great, and youth, and Samanagato means endowed with. Yeah, Samanagato. So there is actually no verb in this sentence. It doesn't have to be in Pali, but the Samanagato is like being endowed with, but it's a different form.
Okay, and
Past
Patamena
participle
is with Patama is first. Patamena with the first. Vaya is last. Sorry, life. So like with the first part of life.
Exactly. So I'm in the first stage of life. So in India, they had this idea of the stages of life, like what is it, the 3 stages, and you have certain things to do in each stage. So you're still a young youth with black hair. Okay.
You drop off
I
from
think
the Sutta.
from ahanko etarati. That one
Okay.
is in
Oh,
Okay. So Venerable Danyana just can quickly run over it again.
so ahanko etarahi. So I indeed in the present have the following qualities. I am young, I am youthful, I have beautiful black hair. I don't know, from a good family or something like this.
No.
Badrena, no.
I'm Samanagato. I'm endowed with Bhadrena Yobbanena. So with
Good
a
youth, good youth.
with an excellent youthfulness.
Okay. And then Samanagato, so
Endowed,
possessing,
endowed with, yeah.
and then Patamena Vyasa. So Vyasa life, Patamena the first part of life.
Yeah. So Samanagato, I am endowed with something. I'm possessed of. So this is an instrumental. The Bhadrena Yobbanena, Ena, you can see, is in an instrumental form. And then it also refers to these words, Patamena Vayasa, meaning in the first stage of life. Again, Patamena is I'm endowed with the first stage of life. So again, it's in an instrumental form. That you can tell. Whereas here is only like listing the qualities. Daharo, Susukalate. So means that's how I am. But here is Samanagato. I'm endowed with what? Bhadrena Yobbanena. And then Patamena Vayasa with the first stage of life. Again, that's an instrumental form. Okay. And the next sentence, Hoti ko panaso samayo yang imangkayang jara pusati. So here we have like two parts of this sentence. The first part, Hoti so samayo. There will be this time. So samayo means a time, occasion, and so on. And so is because it's a masculine. So samayo, that occasion. There is that occasion, or that.
So samayo is together, no?
Exactly. So samayo, like it refers to So it refers to the samayo. That occasion. There is, but the hoti actually means like it becomes. It's like it can refer to the future. So like there will be. Now you could translate as there will be such an occasion, such a time. Yang imam kayang jara pusati. Yang is when or that this body imam kayang jara pusati, old age touches. So the pusati is from pasa, to touch. Pusati is to touch, and the old age jara touches the body. So it's the body that is touched by old age. Yeah. So there is that occasion. I think it's feeding too much. That this body is touched by old age. Okay.
So regarding Patisanka and Patisanchikati,
Have you looked it up?
so I had a look at the dictionary, and can you pull your screen up to the first sentence, and I'll insert the
yes. Here.
dictionary there.
Okay, very good.
So you have Patisanka with ka as the root, which is to tell and announce, like right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Patisanchikati, the root is chikka.
Mm-hmm.
So they both mean the same sort of thing, is that you're looking at, you're reflecting, so you're considering, but the root is in fact from a different direction, and so the meaning is synonymous.
Yeah,
but the root is different.
Sometimes that happens in Pāli. That two words kind of sound similar, so they kind of assume, or in the commentaries they explain it. Oh yeah, this means the same, but in fact they come from different roots. Which shows you just how language is used in real life. It doesn't always have to be true grammatically. Yeah. Okay, so maybe Ajahn Gambhira, you want to do the next one?
Jinnena kopana jaraya abhibhutena nasukarang buddhanam sasanam manasikatum nasukarani aranya vanapattani pantani senasanani patisevitum. Jinnena is by old age, but by all means, but when I'm old, I will not be able to heed the. It will not be easy to practice the teaching of the Buddha.
Yes, so, but I think in this case, strictly speaking, the jinna is a past participle. It means by one who is aged. Yeah, jinnena, by one who is
It's like by an old
by an old
person.
person, basically. And jaraya abhibhutena means by one who is overcome, abhibhuto, by old age. Yeah, jara, and then jaraya is instrumental. So he is abhibhuto, overcome, by what? By jaraya, abhibhutena. Okay,
Nasukarang, not easy.
not easy.
Not
Sukarang,
easy. The Buddha's teaching to heed, to follow or to do.
Yeah.
to do. So this is the word manasikara that we talked about before, but here you can see how it's actually used. It's not easy to like point your mind, manas, manasi, katung. Katung is the instrumental. To is infinitive. To do. It's not easy to do something with the mind. Means to point your mind to reflect on the Buddha's teaching. Sasana is literally means something like, you know, the teaching, the instruction of the Buddhas actually. So here Buddhanang Sasanang. So it's not, sometimes you can write it as Buddha Sasanang in one word. But if it's Buddhanang Sasanang, then it means the sasana of the Buddhas. Yeah? Buddhanang is a plural.
This is a plural genitive.
Yes. Exactly. Very good. And Ajahn Tidapanyo, can you read the next one? Nasukarani.
Yep. Nasukarani aranya Pantani Senasanani Patisevitum.
Mm-hmm. So we have, it sort of continues the structure of the sentence. So the verb, can you see the verb in this at the end there?
Patisevitum.
Exactly. So we have the meaning as
to resort to.
exactly. Sometimes it can mean like patisevami, senasanam patisevami. I use something or I do something with it, but here it means to resort to the senasana, to the dwelling, right? Senasanani. So dwellings, and the dwellings are what? Pantani, senasanani.
Secluded, so it's secluded dwellings.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Aranya Vanapatani.
Forest wilderness dwellings.
That's right. It's another kind of typical term in the Pāli Sutta. So Aranya, the kind of wilderness, and then Vanapata is some kind of again, wild grove or something like that. And they are nasukarani. They are not easy to resort to dwell in, right? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so the Buddha's making the point when you're young, you think, oh, I'm beautiful, I have a nice time. But little do you know, when you're older, you think, I'll practice Buddhism later. But
Well,
when you're older,
That's
later,
right. You want to practice in these jungles. You know, you have these fantasies that you're going to live the ideal life in the forest, and you do that when you're young and you're strong and you can endure the difficulties. And
go on too long before you are 50. Okay, then Ajahn Comrade, can you see the next sentence? Pura. Pura.
Oh, we can't hear you, Ajahn.
All right. We have that's it.
ปุรามังโสธัมโมอาคัจฉติอานิโถอากันโตมะอามานาโป
So can you see the verb?
Agacchati.
Okay, what does that mean?
Agacchati. Agacchati. I think go.
Yes, that's it. It comes.
Comes.
And then what comes? Sodhamo agacchati. That Dhamma, but in this case, how do we translate that Dhamma? You see, so we cannot say Dhamma with a capital D. So in this case, it just means that thing, that event, that reality.
So it's that thing which comes.
That thing which comes,
and it
right?
comes to me.
And mang is to me. Mang is accusative, yeah, to me. That thing comes to me, and pura. Pura is before. Before something. Pura is very common word, Pāli, pura.
Before, to me, that thing comes.
Before, yeah.
And that thing is such that is anitto.
It is anitto, akanto, amanapo. Again, these three words in Pāli suttas very often come together, so they are synonyms. So the things that are displeasing, unpleasant, unwished for. Nobody wants to be old, basically. Nobody wants to be old. And then it continues. Venerable Atanyu, can you read this sentence? Handa? You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. Andahang pati kachewa Wiryang arabami apatasa patiya anadigatasa adigamaya asachikatasa sachikiriya.
Okay. Okay. Handa hang. Do you know this handa? Handa mayang? But here we have handa aham. Okay.
Well then.
It's a sort of like, okay, let me do this. Let's do something. So let's chant together handa mayang. But here is handa aham. Let me. Patikacheva.
Immediately.
Yeah. Right now, immediately. Viryam.
Effort, energy.
That's right.
Arabham.
Arabhati.
To exert.
Yeah, arabhati means to kind of exert something, to start something, to initiate something. So let me right now put forth energy, and then what for? So you can see all these forms in the next line are dative, for something. Apatasa patiya, anadhigatasa adhigamaya, asachikatasa sachikiriyaya. So apatasa. So patta is that which is attained. Apata is that which is not attained. So apatasa for the actually this one. This is actually genitive. Because it's patiya. So pati is the attainment.
For the attainment of
for the attainment. Yeah. So this is dative, but this is genitive. Patiya for the attainment of the unattained. Apata sa. Right? Of the unattained. And the similar construction is here. Adhigama, again, is something that is achievement. It's from adhigachati, So adhigamaya, for the achievement of the yet unachieved. Unadhigata. Right? And here we have Sachikiriya, we know Sachikiriya, the realization, and then Sachikiriyaya is dative, for the realization of the Sachikata. So that which has not been realized. Okay, it's fairly simple. And then I can Dutiyaanāgatabhayasutta,
Yenahang dhammena samannāgato jinna kopi pasum viharisamiti.
Okay.
So yenahang. So by which I with those dhammas, with those aspects of reality, Samanagato is the okay.
Endowed.
So I endowed with those qualities.
So it's actually in singular. Yeah? Yena ahang dhammena
Ah,
samanagata. So ahang I,
yeah.
yena dhammena, by which, through which, it's a instrumental, through which dhamma, through which like quality,
Okay.
endowed.
And then
Chinakopi.
so it says even if I have aged. Yeah, so ajinakapi. Okay, so even if I have aged pasung with ease or comfortably, I shall dwell. So isami is future singular.
That's right. Viharisami and becomes lengthened. So viharisami.
Okay. So he's saying that even if I age well, age comfortably, don't have health issues and stuff like this, I still have to.
No, I think it says even though I'm aged, I will still live in comfort.
If
Because of the realization that I've attained.
Okay, because I realize that unrealized, acquire the unacquired, and attain the unattained, even though I'm old, I'll still be comfortable. Whereas if you didn't do that, then you wouldn't be comfortable.
Even the old jinnakopi, even the old easily will live. Jinnakopi.
Okay. And Ajantita Panyo, can you do this sentence? Idang?
Idang bhikkhave patamang anagatabhayang sampasamanena alameva bhikkhuna apamatena atapina pahitatena viharitung
Okay,
apat.
that's enough.
Okay.
So here what do we have? Idang bhikkhave patang anagatabhayang sampasamanena alameva bhikkhuna viharitum. So how do we break this down? In this case, Idang patamang anagatabhayang sampasamano. So what this means is sampasamano is one who can see, one who sees, one who understands, one who recognizes, we would say.
Recognize the passa.
Exactly. Sampasa. This is from pasati, to see, but we would say probably recognizing. So
it's literally like one with one seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So seeing what? Anagata bhaya is from anagata, future, and bhaya, danger, future danger. Patamang anagata bhayang, the first future danger, recognizing.
Bhaya, not more like fear.
Fear or danger. It is both. It's bhaya can, in English we tend to think of it as an internal state, like a psychological state, but in Pali bhaya can also mean the external danger. There's a sutta, for example, about agi bhayang, udaka bhayang. There's all these different dangers from the external elements, basically.
Like in English, you might say this is a worry for me.
Something
when you're
like
talking about an external event, that this is a
worry.
This is a fear for me.
Okay. I understand.
So this, seeing, by recognizing this first future danger, alameva bhikkhuna apamatena atapina pahitatena viharitum. Alameva is a kind of word that means like it is enough. Literally, alam means enough. It is sufficient, or it is enough, it is suitable, it is proper. But alam literally means enough. It is enough to kind of, okay, I must do something about this. Bhikkhuna, by a bhikkhu, or for a bhikkhu, apamatena atapina pahitatena. So apamato, you might recognize apamada is heatfulness. So by the bhikkhu who is heatful, and who is atapi, that is ardent, and pahitato, it means resolute. This combination that's always in the suttas. Viharitum, to live. So it is, when you see this future danger, it is enough, it is proper then to be living in this way, with energy. And apatta sapatya Anadhigatassa adhigamaya asachikatassa sachikiriyaya. So we had that before. For the attainment of the unattained, for the achievement of the unachieved, for the realization of the unrealized. Okay. So.
So the Buddha is saying, get your skates on.
So if you look at the sutta, there's a link at the top. You can look at it. This is just one of the dangers, and there's a whole list of them, and there are 3 suttas. So there's a variety of future dangers that is awaiting us, or was awaiting the bhikkhus at that time. Various social disturbances and famine and wars and the sangha breaking up, the senior monks not being well trained and educated, and being a bad example for the junior monks. Lots and lots of future dangers that the Buddha foresaw. So you can look up those suttas. They're very, very good.
Yes, when you have a vassa, when everybody is living comfortably and harmoniously,
Yes.
then you can remember that this is an easy time to practice. So this is when you should.
Exactly. So anything you want to ask about the